This episode of the Flush Podcast is brought to you by Federal Premium Ammunition, North Dakota Tourism, Onyx Hunt, and by Chief Upland. Today, I'm talking with Eric Verbas, owner and head guide at Outdoor Obsessions, located in Downs, Kansas. I'm hearing rumors that Kansas may be a popular bird hunting destination this fall, thanks to rising bird numbers. We'll find out if those rumors are true. Welcome to another episode of the Flush Podcast. I'm Travis Frank. I'm your host. Brandon Morton, as always, produces this program. Brandon, thank you for your hard work. Today, I'm joined by Eric Verbas, owner of Outdoor Obsessions in Downs, Kansas. Eric, for somebody that may not know where Downs, Kansas is, can you explain your location?
Sure. Yeah, Kansas is pretty much a rectangle. So we're in a north-central part. We're probably 34 miles from the Nebraska line and dead center in the middle of the state.
Gotcha. What makes it such a great area to hunt birds?
Oh, I mean, habitat obviously is a key to everything. It's transitioned over the years, you know, with the farming practices and stuff. But this area has good public lands, good walk-in lands, you know, private ownership, everything like that. Kind of anything that you'd find key ingredients to good pheasant habitat you'd find anywhere in the world, in the country.
Is that where you grew up?
Actually, I grew up in northwest Kansas, which is a little bit further, 2.5 hours west of here. And so I was familiar with the area growing up, how good it was. And there's a nice body of water here that we utilize also. So it's kind of got everything for us to have a year-round operation.
Gotcha. So that's an interesting thing about a lot of the bird hunting outfitters. You know, they obviously work on habitat a lot throughout the off season, but you're full-time year-round, right? I mean, what do you offer at Outdoor Obsessions beyond pheasant hunting?
We do a little bit of everything. We're almost operational 11 out of 12 months of the year. So I consider the spring our turkey season is kind of our kickoff, and that turkey season runs right into our fishing season, and we fish for 4 or 5 months, and then that bleeds us right into our hunting operation in the fall. And we're primarily a pheasant operation, but we splash in and dabble with, you know, some quail. We got good quail hunting around here. Last year was a great year on prairie chickens. And there's also, with the reservoir that we're close by, that's only 6 miles away from us, we do some waterfowling. Not much for ducks, but more of a goose operation. So,
do the snow geese winter there?
They come through here, so they'll do their migration in the fall, early fall, and then, you know, you see the big numbers of them on the return migration in the springtime, which should be roughly beginning to mid-February, a little bit into March, but by then they're usually pushed north.
Do you do any snow goose guiding?
Used to.
Not an easy job. I know that.
No, learn the hard way. I mean, we still splash in a little bit, but it's not our primary thing. We're chasing the Canadas, and then we get a good flow of speckled bellies through here. It's kind of a nice little bonus for the hunters.
Can you describe for somebody why you would not want to be a snow goose hunting guide?
How much time do we have?
Right.
Oh, I'm a married man. It's one of those things you got to respect the guys that are in the waterfowl. Up early, bed late, hardly any sleep, traveling all the time, working your tail off for that one good hunt you hopefully to get. That's one thing about waterfowl hunting. You can have 20 bad days and one good day, and you're like, man, this is great.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I heard some dogs barking in the background there. How many dogs do you have, and what breed?
We have 12 hunting dogs, and they're primarily labs, and then we also have some German short-haired pointers.
You do. Have you always had dogs growing up?
Oh, yeah, as long as I can remember. It took, I come from a farm background, and we did the hunting and everything. And so we were used to hunting growing up. My family didn't really get into the dogs too much. As I kind of progressed through my life, and I kind of self-dabbled into it and got started myself, taught myself, read the books, watched the videos, so on and so forth.
Gotcha. What do you think is the biggest thing you've learned, having so many dogs, and working with, a lot of people, what is the biggest thing you've learned about when it comes to your dogs and working with them?
Oh, I guess just discipline. I mean, everyone has, we're all guilty. We all think we have the best dogs in the world, but um, having them suit what you're after. So if you're, if you're wanting a pointing dog and that's all you enjoy, then you want to, make sure that's taken care of. If you're into flushing dogs, like we use a lot, you just want them, just depending on what you're after, what suits your hunting style is what you're looking for.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you hunt them, the pointers and flushers, together?
We do. Our style is a little bit different depending on the habitat we're hunting. So that's why I have both breeds in a vehicle at all times, just because if it's wide open country and it's grass we're hunting, who doesn't like to see a good pointing dog locked
Right.
up?
Right.
And then there's other times we're hunting standing crops, Milo and pheasants forever habitat, stuff like that. You're not going to see a dog on point anyway. So let's get a lab in there and get things up and flying.
So you've been operating Outdoor Obsessions now for, is it 20 years?
Not quite. We're going on our 16th season.
16th season.
Yeah, but I've been in the industry, whether it be other outfitters and stuff, for 23 years.
Gotcha. What got you into it?
Luck, like anybody. I always grew up hunting and fishing my whole life. Was going to school, going to college, and at that time, met a friend. His family had a hunting and fishing operation. Said, you need to come back, check us out. I came out, one way or another, and never really left. So that was, if you call it destiny or whatever. I mean, I don't care to do anything else the rest of my career. So hopefully I can get this figured out.
Are you where you were hoping to be at this point?
We're actually probably, it's grown to be better than anticipated, I guess. So we're very blessed when it comes to that part.
Well, I think that has to do with you personally, and just your ability to, you're a good man. Everybody that I know that's hunted with you has said that. I mean, and there's never been anybody that has had any poor hunts with you. They've always, anyone that I know that's, Scott or Ron, but also some of our viewers, they reach out and say, hey, where would you go? I'm looking for a place in Kansas. And I'll say, well, I would recommend going with Eric Verbas. And after they do, they send me a message. Hey, thanks. He's just an awesome guy. I can't wait to get back there. The hunting was great, but he's just a good man. And so I feel like when people say that, that's just a testament to the operation that you're running there. How can you describe, kind of your setup for people that come from out of town, where you are located, like the lodging, but then how your hunts work?
Okay, so like when it comes to the facilities, we have a couple different facilities. We have one we call the main lodge, which 16 years ago we purchased. It was actually an assisted living center. It wasn't very old, and we turned it into a hunting lodge, and it came out really slick. And then we have another facility we call the Roost, and it's really nice. So when it comes to facilities, we got that part covered. The meals are all provided and everything like that in all of our packages. So we got great staff. So basically, in a nutshell, we just do one all-inclusive package where you come and it's the lodging, the meals, the guide, dogs. Bring your own dogs if you would like, and get everybody out hunting, have a good time.
What's more difficult, managing the lodge and the employees, or the dogs and the hunters in the field?
That's a toss-up.
Depends on the day.
Yeah, it depends on the day. We got a great staff. I mean, obviously, one person can't do the whole show. So
Yep.
We've got a model, and everybody's bought into it, from the room cleaners to the cooks to the guides. So they all do their job, and that's a testament also, like you're saying, why everybody comes back. I don't touch every group, every person that comes through. Well, I try to, but you got to entrust everybody's out there doing what you'd want them to do and delivering what the guests want to be done. But we also have, like I say, we have our model of how we do things, and it seems to work out for almost everybody. We've got a very high repeat rate, and I think that's a good, like I say, that's a testament to the whole operation.
I think one thing that really resonates with a lot of hunters, because there's a lot of hunting lodges across the Midwest and pheasant country, but you really focus on hunting wild birds a lot, correct?
Correct. Yeah.
And I feel like people enjoy the real hunt versus, I mean, released birds that aren't as wily and as difficult. And when you have the right habitat, um, the wild bird hunting is really what people probably enjoy the most. Would you agree with that? Or I mean, what's your take on the wild birds versus released birds?
No, definitely. I mean, everybody would love to hunt wild birds and wish there was wild birds across the whole United States.
Mm,
Of course, we're fortunate enough to be in the Midwest where they do, are native to and stuff. So um, it's a lot of work. Back in the day, I'd say farming practices, it's kind of a combination of everything, but things have evolved the direction. It makes it harder for a pheasant to live in the wild. So
mhm,
like our operation and a lot of the operations I've seen, whether it be Kansas, Nebraska, South Dakota, North Dakota, Minnesota, we farm for pheasants. I mean, I grew up a farm kid, so we've got our own equipment. We start ours. It doesn't happen opening day of season. It starts May 1st, April. We start preparing all food plots and prepping and mowings and sprayings and everything like that. So there's a lot of work that goes into it. And then on top of that, you got to get Mother Nature to cooperate. So,
mhm.
but you cannot sit back and you just got to put the effort forward and then let everything else fall where it may fall.
Can I ask how many acres are you hunting on throughout the course of the whole season? I know you've got land, but you've got leases and different properties that you take hunters to. I mean, it's got to be a pretty good chunk of property.
Yeah. So on our pheasant operation, we run about close to 6,000 acres on that, which may or may not sound like a lot, but that's a lot of property.
Hmm.
And then with some of the other stuff, the turkey and we do a few deer hunts, not very many, but that obviously maybe triples the amount of acres we have after that. So it's a good chunk of land and scattered around, not in one big block, but in several different parcels set up differently. So
How would you say the bird numbers or the bird population is right now versus, I mean, your whole lifetime? Where are we at? Are we in the middle? Are we down? What's the high end for what people or what you've seen, and where are we today in comparison to that?
obviously not the high end. Anybody's pheasant hunted, way back in the day, the glory days when there was habitat everywhere. Obviously, I think that was a spike. I would say our numbers are pretty solid, and you're also going to have what I call pockets
Hmm.
of good numbers of wild birds, where the habitat's there. There's water. There's all the things, the ingredients needed for rearing chicks and stuff. And so those pockets will be high, and they give you excitement and stuff like that. But it's as a widespread overall of each state, multiple states. I don't know if that exists completely. So I think in areas where there is the habitat, I would say it's a good medium. Not like the glory days I call them,
Hmm.
but not at the very bottom either.
What's an excellent day look like for you in the field? I mean, how many birds do you think you'll put up? How many pheasants do you think you'll see?
Um, Not huge droves because we got several parcels, scattered around. So that's kind of a nice thing, but it's not unrealistic to have a good day would be the 200 bird plus, visual. I'm not saying you're shooting 200 birds, but
Hmm.
uh, two to 300 birds in a given day would be a pretty solid day for here.
And the quail is kind of, do people come for the pheasants mainly, or do they come and say, I really want to get into quail? I guess it would probably depend on the particular hunting party, but a lot, from what I've seen when we've been hunting with you in the past, they're mixed right in.
They are, and that's certain areas. So how we kind of do the quail, it's more of a bonus package, or maybe you go out and your group gets your limit of pheasants, and there's still some time left in the day. So sometimes we can combo up with that. The only thing that we do on our quail hunting that we're pretty particular about is group size. We don't like a lot of. Everybody loves hunting quail. They're probably my favorite thing to hunt with a shotgun, but they're also dangerous little boogers. You know, they don't go one direction. They go everywhere and have multiple guns swinging all different directions. And of course, we're pretty partial to our dogs. The last thing we want something like that to happen. So the quail hunting is very good. 3 years ago was probably a spike, a peak, but they're still very good, very stable, and in many places of Kansas, even where they don't have the pheasants. But where we're at, north central Kansas, the pheasants are good, quail are just as good. So yeah, everybody loves the quail. It's fun, and we just kind of do like a little bit of a combo, I guess, on top of the pheasant hunt if it allows, or if we got folks that guests that bring their own pointing dogs that are quail dogs, you know, from the east, the south, or where it may be. We'll let them have a few runs on some quail country, you know, later in the afternoon or something like that.
Yeah, that you've mentioned something that was interesting, because I've hunted with a lot of people in the field before, and sometimes it can be a little bit uncomfortable based on, you know, I've had to stop hunts before and just tell people, hey, you know, gun safety right now is the most important thing. And, you know, I've seen guns go off on accident and mistakes happen in the field. Fortunately, nobody's been hurt. In all of your years hunting with people, do you have any horror stories or accidents that have happened? I'm sure it's not something people want to talk about, and maybe you're not comfortable talking about it, but have you seen it happen before?
I've never had a real bad case scenario like, you know, where someone had to visit a hospital or anything like that. We've had several close calls that sure get your attention. That's probably our primary thing. Everybody makes fun of us, but every morning at breakfast, we've got a dry erase board on the wall, and Eric does his little safety talk, and all the hunters, oh, we heard this the last 10, 12 years. I'm like, well, guys, you know, if you don't have safety, you don't have anything. So that's the primary thing. And because you have one little accident, one little incident, the fun's over real quick. So we're having you put your gun up, and you're usually get 2 strikes or get, you know, you get that one, you're like, okay, your barrel's pointed at my head, that type of thing. The second time, you're in timeout. You're gonna go sit in the truck, or you're gonna pick us up at the end of the field type thing. So once you pull that trigger and that gun fires, you can't get that back. So that's what people need to realize, that safety is very, very important. And guns are a lot of fun, but they're very dangerous at the same time. So
right. Have you had to send anybody to the truck?
Yes, I have. Definitely have.
How do they take that?
Some take it well, some don't take it that well. I mean, they're there, they're excited, they're on a trip of a lifetime, something they've been waiting for all year long, and you have to tell them they can no longer hunt. And that's, you know, some people take it well and some people don't take it as well. So it depends on and it's also presentation. You know, if you deal with it in a tactful way, talk to them, communicate, that's the easiest way.
Yep. Well, you've hunted with my co-hosts Scott Franzen and Ron Schara more than once. Scott, anyway. Who's the better shot between those two? And be honest.
Oh, man. The better shot. Oh, I mean, I look at it from the bottom up, I guess. I shouldn't look at it that way, should I? Ron's good in his own aspect. You know, he has his glory days, and Scott has his glory days. I'd say they're both very comparable. Yeah.
Dang it! I was hoping you'd pick one so that I could razz the other. But all right, no, way to take the easy route, Eric.
Yeah, I took the high road. I took safety.
I'll let him know they both tied for worst.
Yeah, just tell them they're still towards the bottom.
Yeah, I want to talk about bird numbers that you're seeing right now across the state: pheasants, quail, prairie chickens. But first, I have a quick message from Chief Upland. For generations, bird hunters have hit the field carrying some form of a vest or game pouch on their backs. Sometimes the vest rip, tear, and fall apart. Other times they're downright uncomfortable. That's why Chief Upland designed a vest that's durable, comfortable, and fits your needs. Their new Upland vest is fully customizable to fit the size and shape of all hunters. Plus, you can decide where you want to attach your shell pouches and accessories. Last fall, I tested a Chief Upland vest for the first time, and I love it. Birds can be front-loaded into the game pouch, and they fit nicely in the back without sagging. That's a big deal because the weight disbursement on your back and shoulders won't tire you out even with a full pouch of birds. The vest itself is extremely lightweight, weighing only 2.56 pounds. The material is built out of Cordura fabric, which is the same waterproof fabric used in tactical military gear. You can confidently hunt with a Chief Upland vest in some of the world's toughest environments. I can say that my Chief Upland vest is one of the nicest hunting vests that I've ever worn. Push further and hunt longer with a game-changing vest from Chief Upland, built for your pursuit. If you're looking for a great bird hunting destination this season, besides hunting with Eric down in Kansas, then I strongly recommend that you consider one of my favorite places to hunt, which is North Dakota. North Dakota is a bird hunter's paradise. You can hunt both waterfowl and upland birds all in the same day. Ducks in the morning, pheasants, sharp-tailed grouse, and Hungarian partridge in the afternoon, or vice versa. North Dakota has a population estimate of 2.9 million breeding ducks, which is 19% above the long-term average, and their prairie pothole region is smack dab in the middle of the Central Flyway. Last season, pheasants, sharpies, and hun numbers rose, and there's optimism for an even higher population this year. I've been talking about the bird numbers in North Dakota for months now, and there's a chance that this season could be one of the best we've seen in decades. North Dakota has approximately 800,000 acres of private land open to walk-in hunting. For the latest plots guide, visit the North Dakota Game and Fish Department. Bag your limit this fall in North Dakota. Visit legendarynd.com to start planning your hunting adventure today. All right, Eric, what are you seeing on the ground right now in your neck of the woods? I've been hearing from multiple people that Kansas is potentially the hot spot for this hunting season, or one of the hot spots, based on the moisture that you're getting that we're not getting north of you.
I think that this year could be pretty good. I mean, it's shaped up to be a good one, where we had some cool wet weather earlier in the year before nesting started, so we got good growth on everything. And then it kind of went into a little bit of a dry period leading into the nesting, and now we're getting some rain again, where they can finish things off. A lot of insects this year. Most people realize that insects are pretty valuable to a young brood. So I think the harvest is starting here. They're trying to get started, but it started raining here this week. So I'm hearing some guys that are seeing, good numbers. They haven't done much harvesting, so that's usually kind of a telltale sign, I guess, is before that. And then, of course, I got connections all over the state, but western Kansas is, it's like they're seeing some good broods already, scattered hatches that are 2 weeks apart from each other, maybe 3 weeks apart from each other. And then southwest Kansas, I've heard they're also got some down there. So I think Kansas could shape up to be a pretty good one this year.
Yeah, you guys have really avoided the drought from what I've understood, right?
Yeah, I would not call it a drought by any means, for sure. So it's we've had good moisture, not over the top, but good moisture.
Kind of just right. And your winter was fine.
Yeah, fairly mild winter. So Kansas is one of those states we don't have to worry about winter kill necessarily like you do in the northern states, the Dakotas and Minnesota. So we never have to worry about that. It has to be extremely hard winter for us to have any type of damage like that.
How was your hunting season last year compared to maybe the previous 5? Was it still up there, or were they down just a little?
They were down a little bit. 2 years ago was not bad. Last year, 2 years ago was probably a little bit lower. Last year came back a little bit, and then this year I think it's coming back even more and more.
Gotcha. That's the same report I've heard from a few other people down in your territory, and I'm hearing good things about Nebraska as well. Just based on the moisture and North Dakota, like I was just mentioning before, I've got friends up there too, and they've had some pockets of rain, and they're optimistic. And right now, I've heard that the numbers are up a little bit in their areas. We're going to get a full report from a lot of states coming up in the coming weeks, but what I've heard specifically is Kansas is just one of those places that all the ingredients have kind of come together, and that includes your quail numbers. So how do you feel about your quail population right now going into this hunting season?
I don't have a feeler necessarily for the hatching yet. It seems like they don't start materializing until a little bit later. But we had great carryover, and with the conditions how they are, I would not see a downfall, I guess, in my opinion. So I'd say it's gonna be strong, good to strong.
Gotcha. One thing that you do take people out for is prairie chicken from time to time. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm. Correct. Yep.
Where do you go to target those birds, and what are their populations like right now?
I'd say they're pretty strong. We've got a kind of a foothold on certain areas. These prairie chickens are in the same territories every year, and how we hunt them is it's a pass shoot style. So it's more of a, it's not the dog work and stuff like that. That takes place in September. We don't really do any of that time of year. It's so warm, and we were doing our dove hunts and fishing still. But so we're patterning them coming from what we call pasture ground where the cattle graze. They like to be able to be visual. They want to see long distances as their defense. Mm-hmm. And they fly from the roosting area, which is a cattle pasture, to a feed field of some sort. And so we just kind of find out what they're doing. They stay on the same pattern, and we just catch them intercepting. So it's kind of fun. It's these are greater prairie chicken where we're at. So we have strong numbers of them. I mean, we had a couple 3 flocks last year in the excess of 60 to 70 birds.
Nice.
So, and same thing, they're in their little pockets. But yeah, that's a nice little thing. If no one's ever taken a prairie chicken before, they sure enjoy that chance.
Right. Do those populations fluctuate much, or they kind of hold fairly stable?
They'll fluctuate. Their habitat's obviously a lot different than like a pheasant or a quail, and so they will fluctuate on some drought years where they don't have near the brood rearing that they would on a typical year.
If you're an out-of-state hunter, and obviously you hunt a lot of private land, and you know that's your territory there, so I'm guessing you maybe don't travel a lot to public lands, but you have a lot of public land opportunities. What would you recommend to somebody listening that maybe wants to do a road trip to Kansas this year? Where would you direct them? Is there a certain region of the state that stands out to you, and why?
Sure. Do your research, start pulling maps, things like that. Also, Kansas, I mean, we have a lot of public land, and then there's all the people are familiar with the walk-in hunting program that Kansas offers.
Yep.
And it's scattered throughout the state, but you want to do a little bit of research and show up and don't find a barren winter wheat field. There's obviously not going to be anything good for that. But north central, your regions you're going to look at be north central, northwest, and southwest are the 3 primary regions. South Central has some areas that are also very good. The eastern part of the state is more quail country. You get a couple hours west of where we are, and you start running out of pheasant country, so to speak. And so, yeah, I would say north central, northwest, southwest are going to be the 3 primary ones this year. Eastern Colorado, they've had great moisture this year. So western Kansas and eastern Colorado are feast or famine. They got to have the moisture, and if it's dry there, it seems like the numbers are down, but they've been wet for the last couple of years, or not overly wet, but wet enough to get good numbers back up.
Is there an area that you would recommend? Let's say somebody really wants to do a little bit of quail hunting, but they also want to get pheasants. Is there a region where they mix in pretty well? Maybe it's yours?
Yeah, north central is a good area. Obviously for a mixed bag. Where we're at, close to there's several reservoirs in this area. So like you were talking about in North Dakota, mm-hmm. You got areas that are pretty close to a good body of water, and we're in a great migration corridor for ducks and geese. So, if somebody's looking for a mixed bag, ducks, geese, maybe prairie chicken, quail, pheasants, north central's a good area for that. Northwest Kansas would be more of a pheasant / quail. Not a lot of water out that way for migrations and stuff. So, but yeah, north central probably has the most diversity, and south central.
Gotcha. What are you most excited about going into this fall, the hunting season?
Getting everything back in order after the COVID blues. I think everybody can relate to that. So last year was an interesting year for everyone. No one's different, but it was from a personal perspective on the business, we were hit just because of what existed, this people being afraid to travel around other people, things like that, and 100% got it, but it took patience for everybody. And this year, I think a lot of people can relate. I call it the post-COVID blues. There's a huge surge in the outdoor industry, I'd call it, whether it be hunting, fishing, camping, hiking, skiing, boating, you name it. I mean, it's a huge surge after this. So that's a good thing, after what we had last year as being a bad thing.
Are you, I'm actually kind of surprised to hear that the demand was down. I suppose maybe you do a lot more of groups, hunting groups or corporate deals would be down, but I would think just the individual interest in hunting and fishing would be up. Do you see, because you're a fishing guide as well, do you see a spike in people that wanted to go fishing, but maybe a drop in people that wanted to go hunting last year?
It was, and it just kind of depended on the time of year. So like we started off really slow last year on our turkey season. They put travel restrictions on non-residents, things like that. So we ultimately lost our whole turkey season. Our fishing season starts, we'll call it May 1, and a little bit of hesitation. As the season went on, it started to really get back to what we'd call more normal. Mm-hmm. And then as it got into the fall, it dropped back off again as cases started to go. So it was a consistent battle, I'll call it, of phone calls and just people that, and like I say, you can't discredit or blame anybody, but hey, Eric, we're not going to make it this year, whether our fear is there or someone in our party that was coming does have the virus. So it was definitely a up and down year for sure. And our operation, where we have a collection of people that come, mainly to the lodges and stuff like that, that was more of the fear. If you're out hunting in the field, obviously you were separated, things like that. The hunting part was not the issue. It was the lodging. We're trying to serve people meals, provide all the things we used to provide under different circumstances. It was a little bit of a nightmare.
Oh, gosh. Well, are the people back this year? I mean, do you have openings still remaining for this hunting season, or are you already full?
We are pretty much already full. We were booked up to capacity, how we call it, booked up back in early April, which is the earliest we've ever been. Now, we have a lot of our groups that are repeat groups that either made it last year or didn't make it. And kind of like we're just talking about, it's been a resurgence big time. Our groups they're adding numbers to it. So it's going to be a really good year. Everything holds together. Keep our fingers crossed, say our prayers. Yep. But yeah, everybody's really reinvigorated after maybe staying home or couldn't make it on their cruises or to Canada or whatever it may be. People enjoy hunting, fishing, the outdoors. Whether we're millionaires or we save up every penny we got, we're going to go do what we love. And last year people didn't get to do that, so they're going to make sure they're going to get out there and live this year and have fun and take advantage of the time we have.
Well, and it's a good year too, from the sounds of it, in your neck of the woods or your fields, because of the strong bird counts and the way things are shaping up. So I'm happy for you. I'm glad to hear that you're booked up, and like I've told people in the past, and will continue telling them, they're going to have a great experience when they go hunt with you. So I appreciate you taking the time today. I hope that you and your crew have a wonderful hunting season this year. If anybody wants to learn more about Eric's operation, it is outdoorobsessions.com, right? Are you on social media too?
Yes.
Where can they find you?
Just under Outdoor Obsessions.
There it is. Wonderful. Eric, thanks for taking the time today. I know you got to get back out on the water. Good luck fishing, and we'll be in touch soon.
Thanks for everything, Travis.
Yeah, once again, thank you to our sponsors, Federal Premium Ammunition, Onyx Hunt, North Dakota Tourism, and Chief Upland for helping us to make this show possible. If you need a bird hunting fix right now, you can watch all of the episodes of the Flush television show available in their entirety to stream on our YouTube channel. Simply search for the Flush TV on YouTube and you'll find us. And our TV shows are airing right now on the Outdoor Channel. A brand new season just kicked off. We will be on for the next between now through December. So we hope you'll take the time to sit down and watch some of our travels. You may find a place that you're interested in hunting. You maybe end up in Eric's neck of the woods or a variety of other locations. We had a very, very birdie season, and gosh, hunting season will be here so soon. So soon, we're counting down the days. If you have any questions or guest ideas for the show, I'd love to hear them. You can reach us on Facebook or Instagram at The Flush TV or on our website at theflush.tv. Thank you for joining us today. We'll be back next week with another episode of The Flush Podcast. I'm Travis Frank, reminding you to take the time to introduce someone new to the field.